Hey everybody, it's Tamra with Girl Changed. I hope you're doing well today. Well, today I want to wrap up this week. Today is Friday, and I want to wrap up what we talked about this week before we go into the next session. So today, let's just kind of recap what we've already talked about. So I hope you've been doing this Take 20, that you have been taking the time to connect with that peace inside, that you have connected with that whatever, that thing in you, to be able to take that time that you deserve for yourself. Now I talked about that, I think, for like 3 days in a row, because it is important. It's important for your personal growth, for who you want to be, for getting rid of, the junk that we carry, to just kind of slow our life down a little bit and just take some time. Okay, so we talked a lot about that. So anyway, we talked about taking 20 minutes, take 20, to connect with peace, connect with that peace inside, and how hard that can be when you're so busy doing so many things for everybody else, or you're at the bottom of your to-do list of things that you need to do, whether it be exercise, taking the time to prepare a good meal, a healthy meal for yourself, knowing good and well that your health is going to suffer if you don't. We all do it. We all neglect those things, those signs, and the signs are there. I learned that myself the hard way, that the signs of my health being at jeopardy, the signs were always there, but I wasn't paying attention. I just band-aided the whole situation until finally it caught up with me. That's a whole other video. We'll talk about that later on down the road. But anyway, we all do it. So taking the time now, do it now. I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. I was stubborn. Okay, I was really stubborn in doing these things. Sorry about the flyway here. But anyway, so we talked about taking 20 minutes. We talked about, shortly, I didn't go into it too much, about writing for 20 minutes nonstop. So if you don't want to, or you maybe want to mix it up a little, taking that 20 minutes of just quiet time, or taking 20 minutes and just journaling, writing, just laying it all out there, uninterrupted, no editing, but just all that junk that's inside, with no criticism, nothing. You're just writing it all out for 20 solid minutes, not picking up your pencil at all. You're not picking it up. You're just writing, getting that junk out. Very important. So we talked about that. We talked about seeing yourself in the theater of your mind. We talked about seeing yourself as you coming into the theater and getting your popcorn, getting your soda, getting your candy, sitting down in the middle of the theater and finding your favorite spot so you can see yourself on stage or on the big screen. Seeing yourself and you controlling what it is you want to see in you, because you're the person on the stage that you're seeing how you want your life to be, who you want to be, what you want to achieve, what you need to deal with, but maybe you're afraid. We talked about seeing yourself. We talked about that. So then we talked about like entering in that person. So you saw it. What does that feel like to actually be that person, to actually have changed, to actually have reached that goal, entered into that vision that you've had? We talked about that. Okay, so we talked about all those different things, and I truly hope that you did spend the time doing that, because those are great exercises in doing the imagination of closing your eyes and imagining, and from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. We did that exercise. I know it was quick, but if you went back and you did it yourself, it's very effective. Now I want to take it further as we wrap up this week before we go into next week. Now I want you to ask yourself, how would your life change? How would your life be different if you achieved these goals? If you made it to that vision that you saw, if it was exactly as you saw on the screen, if you changed, if you became that person. Let's say you wanted to be in top physical shape. What would that do for you? What would that do for your relationships? What would it do for your well-being? What would it do for your confidence? What would that do if you actually took the time to do all that? I'm not saying figure it out right now. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you saw it. I wanted you to feel it so you could own it. Now I'm asking you, What would it feel like? How would not feel like, I'm sorry. Well, how would your life change? What would change in your life? How would you change? How would it change everything in your life if you achieved it? Whatever that is for you. It could be you finally have the career of your dreams. It could be now you are seen differently as the best mom or the best wife or the best roommate or whatever it is for you. Maybe you wanted to travel, but you were afraid. And imagine yourself already overseas. You're already there in the country that you wanted to visit. Maybe you wanted to go to the Holy Land, but you were afraid. Or maybe you wanted to go to Europe and you were afraid. Or you didn't think you could ever raise the funds to go. Or maybe you wanted to go on a cruise. Anything, whatever that is for you. Whatever it is, see yourself there. Feel it as if you're there. How would that change you? How would your whole life change? What would that do for your relationships? What would that do for your job, for your career, for how you feel? How would you walk? You know what I mean is, how would it make you feel if you entered a room and you're already that person? Would you be more confident? Would people see that confidence in you? Could you walk in and be confident in a setting where there's a lot of people and normally you'd be very shy, but now you're this person that you've always dreamed of being? How would that change for you? What does that look like? Did you get that degree that you always wanted? Did you finish college? You started, but you didn't finish, and so now you've thought about it. It's changed. You're there. You've achieved it. You've got your degree. You've got whatever it is. You've got the training that you needed for whatever it is that you've been wanting to have. The house that you wanted, the house of your dreams, whatever that is. So many people, so many different dreams, so many different visions for lives. You know what you want for yourself. You know what you've seen for yourself. You know where you've wanted to be. You know what kind of clothes you've always wished you could wear. You know the kind of shape you always wanted to be in. You know how you want to be. You know. You may not have shared it with anybody, but you know. Next week we're going to talk about other things, but right now you know. There's all that stuff that's in between. There's all that stuff. And we will get into that because there is a lot. But first you have to see it before you can even begin to have it. You have to see it. You have to see that it's possible. That's first. You have to have that desire. And I'm asking you to pull out those things that you long forgot, shelved it, put it away, bringing it back as a, what if, maybe, when I was a young girl, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I did all these sketches and everybody said I was so good. But you didn't believe it. But you have all the sketchbooks because secretly you wanted to be a great fashion designer or illustrator. Maybe you wanted to be a fashion illustrator. I did once. I wanted to be a fashion illustrator. The drawings I did were pretty good. I'm not going to lie. They were pretty good. But that was just a short time. That's not really what I really wanted to do. But anyway, so what if you've got all these drawings and sketches and stuff, and maybe you've got some stories that you've written. Maybe you've written a couple plays. Maybe you've written some prose. Maybe you've written poems. Maybe you've written songs. Maybe you want to be a great pianist, but you've never sat at a piano. Maybe you want to play guitar, and you've never picked up a guitar. But in your heart, you know that's what you wanted to do. Maybe you wanted to teach dancing to inner city kids. Maybe you wanted to be part of the Big Sister program, but you were just afraid because you didn't think that anybody wanted your help. Or you wanted to be a supervisor and you're already working at a children's youth center, but you're afraid that they don't recognize you as you'd be very good because you're so shy. But you know inside you have the ability, but you're waiting for somebody to give you permission. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission. You are your own permission. If this is what you want to do, go after it. Find ways to do it. If you fall, get up. Get back up because they need you. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, they need you. I don't know what it is for you. I have no idea what it is for you, but you know what it is. So you have to get in touch with that peace inside of you and stop running from it. Stop making excuses. Stop making all your to-do lists on you need to do this and you need to do that. And I would love to take a class, but I don't have the time. I have 10 things I have to do on my list. And then I have those things for tomorrow. And then next week I've got to do these things. So I just don't have time. Find the time. If you don't have the money, which I completely understand, there are things, there are classes you can take. There's YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube. Go on, if you belong to a library, and we'll get to that if you don't belong to a library, belong to a library, because your library has resources that you can take, free classes. Yes, free college classes. And they teach you all kinds of things. This, I believe, is called universal something or other. I think every library might be different, but they have online classes you can take for anything. So you can learn. If you want to be a better speaker, there are college courses. They're free. Being a better speaker, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be anything you want to do, if you want to make jewelry, if you want to be a painter, there's so many different things. If you want to go into computer science, whatever it is. What I'm saying is there are ways. If you want to know how to be a great makeup artist and you don't know the first thing about makeup brushes, I have a ton. I was going to bring them out here, but that's a whole other session. I was a makeup artist for 18 years, so. But anyway, and we're going to talk about makeup. We're going to talk about skincare. That's later, because taking care of your outside is very important too. It is. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, whatever it is, just start doing research, okay? Start doing some research on the possibilities for you. They're there. They're there. Trust me, I've done years of doing this myself, and they're here, and there's more and more and more that keep popping up, because believe me, there are more people that are for you than you even understand. There are. They might not be your friends. Might not be your family. They might not be an acquaintance. They might not be an acquaintance. It might not be any of that. But there are people. There are services. There are for you. And they're free. And you can get as much knowledge that you can in the privacy of your own home. You got a phone? You can take a class on your phone. If you're at work and you need a break, or you're on your lunch break, take that class, because they're not live. So you go at your own pace. I'm just telling you these things so you know that there are resources. If you want to be a screenplay writer, there are classes. I'm not kidding. When I say that there are things that you can look up, it's there. So research, look. So whatever it is you want to do, imagine you've already done it. Imagine that you have it, and see your life, what it would be like if you achieved it. How would it change? What would that change for your life? What would that be like for you? How would you be inside? Would your shyness be gone now? Would you be able to walk confidently? What is it? What is it? Okay, so anyway, I don't want this to keep going on and become a super long video. So anyway, I wanted to wrap that up with that, because I felt like it was very important before we move on. So think about this weekend, okay? How would your life change? We're going into the 4th of July. There's going to be a lot of parties, a lot of activities and so forth. And take a look at what you're around. You know, look at your family. If you're going to parties and picnics and stuff like that, to events, festivities, whatever, look around. Just take a few minutes. I'm not saying spend your whole day thinking about it, but just, have a flash of a few moments every now and then of thinking, how would my life be in this moment if I had already achieved what I want? How would that change? Just think of things like that. If you're driving your favorite car that you don't have right now, but in your dreams, your vision, your ideal car, what would that feel like for you? You're going to the store right now, and you got to pick up some things for a picnic, a family picnic, or just a picnic. And while you're heading down there in your car, maybe you have a hoopty, I don't know, and you're driving, imagine, what would that be like if you had your brand new car? Just imagine. Just go there. Go there. Okay? So that's it. That's it for today. That's it for the week. So we'll check in again in a couple days. So I would say you have your homework cut out for you, because if you haven't started, start now. Go back and look at those videos before and do that homework. See how that changes. Write it down. And I would also suggest now that we're at the end of this week, I would like to suggest for you to, well, we'll talk about it later as well, but start thinking about getting a journal and start writing some of this stuff down. And start writing your thoughts, doing this homework, and start writing. What if? Title it, What If? And start listing. You can bullet point, you can write it out, you can story it, you can, I forgot the writer's term for it, but you can write it out. What if? And just begin. Okay, so anyway, it's gone long enough. So anyway, thank you. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. So anyway, have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.